Good morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Taylor Stephenson here with you on the weather desk this morning, and I am tracking what has been a mess of storms across Hampton Roads in northeastern North Carolina. That was all yesterday. Another round possible later on today, but we are going to top a recap of Tuesday's flash flooding in Hampton Roads that left portions of Norfolk completely underwater, some places not even be able to be passed through. We've also seen cars completely submerged from our videos that we got yesterday from that flash flooding. And there was flash flooding not only in Norfolk, but also through the central and western portions of the south side. So we're going to talk all about that flooding. On the flip side, we are going to take it out west, back to those wildfires. As I gave you that update yesterday, there was someone arrested in connection with the potential arson that set the wildfires in Spokane County, Washington. We'll talk more about the fires out west, and then we're tracking the tropics. Today is the day where the Colorado State University experts drop their updated tropical outlook for the Atlantic Basin. I'll give you a recap of what they predicted over the past few months, and we'll be waiting for that update as it comes later on today. On top of that, we'll also be talking our local forecast here in Hampton Roads. Scattered rain is possible again today, with maybe even the potential of isolated downpours again, but this time the zone for that potential flooding is different. I'll show you what that is and then give you a look at the drier but hotter end to the work week that starts tomorrow, and I'll give you a look ahead, as feels like temperatures by the time we get to this time next week could easily be 100 to 105 degrees. First, Hampton Roads has been dealing with unsettled weather all week, and all that rain caused flash flooding in Norfolk yesterday. Even worse than what we typically see. I mean, I've never seen.
Heavy rain turned roads across Norfolk into rivers, leaving drivers stranded and at least one SUV swallowed by floodwater.
Well, we were inside all day, so we thought we'd get outside and have a little adventure, and we stumbled upon the scene.
This scene serving as another reminder of just how quickly streets can become impassable during heavy downpours. As the minutes passed and the rain fell, this SUV sank deeper and deeper into the rising water.
Earlier, I mean, you couldn't even see the top of the car, right? That's crazy.
As the streets across Norfolk flooded, for many drivers, the safest decision was to simply stay put. Willie Mae Owens was trying to find a way home from work before realizing nearly every road was underwater.
I usually go down Princess Anne, flooded. Turned around, Onley, flooded. Go downtown Norfolk, flooded. I came back up this way. I said, maybe 21st Street, and I can go and then hit Granby and flooded.
With nowhere to go, she had no choice but to wait for the water to recede.
I ended up parked here in the Walgreens parking lot for about 2.5 hours.
Time well spent compared to the alternative.
As I've seen cars stop and stalled, and they say, don't drive through flooded waters. I can't afford another car or car repair, so hey, it's better to sit for 2-3 hours and be safe than to, have the fire department or somebody come try to get me out of flooded waters.
42 years living in Norfolk, Virginia, and we know that this happens every time there is heavy downpour, flash flood warning. It's just something that happens in the city of Norfolk. So hopefully whoever was driving that SUV learned their lesson.
And as the woman mentioned, please never drive through flooded roadways. What we saw yesterday was something I have never seen here in Norfolk. And later on today in our evening shows, I'll break down how the impacts of climate change will make flooding like that across Hampton Roads more common as we get into the next 25 to 50 years. That was Dana Smith reporting. Now, I want to give you a look at the estimated rainfall totals across the area. I actually contacted the Weather Service myself this morning, asking for their specific numbers on rainfall totals from yesterday. They told me that they would give me those numbers later on today, so be on the lookout for that, most likely during our noon show. You can see the heaviest downpours were through the central south side, out into the western south side, and then heading up near Richmond and then out past I-85. In our immediate area, places around Norfolk, this is estimated rainfall from yesterday. said anywhere from 6 to 7 inches of rainfall in this area. That's really around the Ghent area and Lambert's Point, so northern sides and central sides of Norfolk, even into Suffolk and Isle of Wight. Some rainfall estimates upwards of 4 inches. Now, yesterday, I was actually out shopping in Virginia Beach, and it was just off and on rain. A completely different story where some areas in Virginia Beach only picked up a quarter of an inch compared to almost 7, a huge difference. And that's why we always say these are showers and thunderstorms that are hit or miss. Some of us will be missed by the heaviest downpours. Others will unfortunately be trapped underneath them. And we do have that risk again for isolated flooding today. And again, I'll show you the bullseye of that zone for isolated flooding later on in the show. Rough surf and rain also washed out roads in North Carolina. This is what it looked like near the Bass Night Bridge on NC 12 south on Tuesday morning. While the road remained open, the North Carolina Department of Transportation urged drivers to take it slow. So again, this is what it looked like yesterday, but this is what it looks like now near Ocracoke. You can see NC 12 looks much better. No water or sand appears to be blocking the road. Several wildfires, though, are still burning out west. A look at the progress crews are making putting out the flames. Plus, new details about the man accused of setting one of those fires on purpose. Welcome back. 3 major wildfires are still burning in Washington state: the Old Trails Fire, the Autumn Lane Fire, and the Fairview Fire. This morning, we're learning more about the man accused of setting one of those fires on purpose. ABC's Alex Stone reports from the fire zone in Spokane County.
The images are horrific. Families running for their lives as flames closed in, homes engulfed. Authorities say one of the most destructive wildfires in the history of Washington state was deliberately set by a convicted killer. Spokane Sheriff's deputies taking 37-year-old Aaron Farinacci into custody outside of his home late Monday.
It was citizens who were paying attention to their surroundings, being aware and willing to step up and say something that led to the relatively quick apprehension of Mr. Farinacci.
Paul Child says he's the citizen who called police after seeing a suspicious man on the side of the road Saturday.
He was bent over, looking towards, doing something in the grass and through the tree line area.
The origin of the fire was indeed exactly where the witnesses had seen Mr. Farinacci kneeling in the grass earlier that day.
Oh my God, dude.
The fire's destroying at least 700 homes and other buildings. New video shows a family using their boat to escape the flames, taking refuge in the middle of Lake Spokane. For residents like Chelsea Riley, whose parents' home is now a pile of ashes, news that the fires have been deliberately set hurts.
It changes things. It kind of, you could make sense of it when it was an act of God somehow, but now that it's arson, someone did this to our family, and that's hard to wrap our brains around.
Farinacci is a convict out of the state of Arizona. In 2010, Farinacci pleaded guilty to manslaughter for shooting and killing his father at their home in Mesa, Arizona. He was released from prison in 2020 and is currently a Spokane resident. Farinacci has now appeared in front of a judge. Bail set at $1 million. He's due back in court later this week. Alex Stone, ABC News, Spokane, Washington.
Those images are just so hard to see. Now those wildfires are now impacting air quality across the Pacific Northwest. Right now in Spokane, Washington and Boise, Idaho, they're dealing with the worst of it. The air is also considered unhealthy in Portland and Eugene, Oregon. Things are very little better in Seattle and across the Pacific coast, but things could change as winds from the northeast could blow heavy smoke into those areas as well over the next few days. And here's a look at what it could look like by Thursday in those areas. You can see the very high smoke concentrations near Great Falls in Montana, also just north of Billings in Spokane. You can see right there near the U.S.-Canada border, very thick smoke, and even down into those areas we just mentioned, like Portland, Oregon, watching for that, in places in Idaho. Now, for the rest of the area, that is going to be some of that moderate to high smoke all the way through portions of the Rocky Mountains. California is also dealing with wildfires too. The Gan fire in Calaveras County, east of San Francisco, has been burning for almost 2 days. So far, it's scorched more than 7,000 acres. Hundreds of people have been ordered to evacuate, and homes have been destroyed. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. And you can see that the drought monitor here shows the driest conditions are out west, which helps to fuel those fires, of course, with the high heat as well. The driest areas of the U.S. really as you get into the Rocky Mountains and then back up into the Pacific Northwest. Here in Hampton Roads and northeastern North Carolina, our conditions are much better than those out west. We have some areas not dealing with any type of dryness, but in the yellow colors through the peninsulas down to the western south side, we are underneath abnormally dry conditions, and then a slice of some moderate drought through the peninsula, southern middle peninsula, and down through the extreme western south side and portions of northeastern North Carolina, where we can see the driest conditions. But with the rainfall we got yesterday, some areas picking up 2 to 5, even 5+ inches, that should help to break up some of that dryness. Now on to a bit of local history as we sit here looking over Hampton Roads. On this week 15 years ago, a lightning strike ignited the Great Dismal Swamp Fire. Here's a look at that fire from 15 years ago. That fire would burn and go on to burn more than 100 days and even survived heavy rainfall from Hurricane Irene. According to NASA, drought conditions in a previous fire in 2008 killed trees and brush, leaving behind plenty of dead vegetation to fuel the flames. It was officially declared extinguished on November 22nd, 2011. Parts of Hampton Roads, like I mentioned, are dealing with drought conditions right now, and the newest drought monitor will be in place and updated tomorrow morning at around 8 a.m. So Craig Moeller, our meteorologist, who is our typical morning meteorologist, will be here on the weather desk tomorrow morning with the newest numbers from the drought monitor. Now be aware that the rainfall that we got on Tuesday may be included, as it does take into account Tuesday to Tuesday rainfall totals. So we'll see how this drought monitor looks as we get into tomorrow morning. Next, what's going on in the tropics? We're taking a look around the tropics this morning with just 1 month until peak hurricane season. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Let's trap the tropics together. We are in the typical month of August where we usually start to see that rise in tropical activity. So I want to give you a look at what to expect here in the Atlantic Basin over the next 7 days and the Pacific Basin over the next 7 days. And as we track the tropics today, we have another round of quietness expected here in the Atlantic Basin over the course of the next week. We've only been through 2 named storms so far, but both of those have impacted and made landfall in the United States. In the Pacific, it is a different story for us, now tracking 2 different areas in the tropics, both tropical waves that are just hovering over the open waters of the Pacific. The first tropical wave in this X is associated with this area of potential development to the further west, just south of Hawaii. Right now, it has a 0% chance of development over the next 2 days and a 20% chance of development over the next 7 days. Just to the east and really southeast of that area of low pressure is another tropical wave that has the same development chances, a 0% chance of development over the next 2 days and a 20% chance development over the next 7 as it moves to the west, kind of tracking right behind the first tropical wave. We've already been through many names in the Pacific Ocean. Our last one was the G name, which was Genevieve. Genevieve was a major Category 5 hurricane that just churned over the open waters. But every year ahead of hurricane season, Colorado State University releases its predictions for how many named storms we could see. CSU released those predictions in April and then tweaked them in June and July. In June, on June 10th, they said, hey, we should only maybe see 11 named storms, 5 hurricanes, and then 2 major hurricanes. In July, just about a month ago, they actually dropped those numbers down to 9 named storms, 4 hurricanes, and only 1 major hurricane. We expect to get the August update sometime today. Switching gears, we're going to take you to Guatemala. Dozens of families living on the slopes of the Fuego volcano were forced to leave their homes after it began to erupt. This video shows lava and ash spewing from the volcano on Tuesday. The Fuego volcano is one of the most active in Central America. In 2018, an eruption destroyed an entire village, killing hundreds of people. Now let's take you live outside. Here's a look at what's happening in Hampton Roads. We're seeing mostly cloudy skies, but a few breaks in those clouds. We have another chance of rainfall for today. I'll have your Wednesday outlook and what to expect for the rest of the work week coming up in just 2 minutes. Welcome back. Let's talk about your Wednesday forecast. Today is the last day where we are anticipating some at least scattered showers and thunderstorms for the rest of the work week. That higher humidity is going to place us in yet another risk for isolated downpours that could lead to localized or flash flooding. And I'll show you that area, as I've been mentioning all day or all throughout the show, in just a moment. But good news is we're drier as we end the week. So starting tomorrow and Friday, rain chances significantly go down, but that humidity and the heat, they pick up and they continue into the weekend, where feels like temperatures from tomorrow through early next week will be approaching 100 degrees, at least by this weekend. Next week, we could easily be in heat advisory criteria. So hot and humid as we end the first full week of August and enter the second full week of August. Right now, here's a look at the conditions over the Elizabeth River, looking from our Nauticus camera from our Thompson Creek Window Company sky view. More clouds than sun, but at least we are seeing some sunshine right now. Temperatures are in the low 80s, but it is very muggy. Dew point temperatures are in the mid 70s, so it's feeling more like the low to mid 80s. Those south-southwest winds continue to pump in what is a very warm and moist air mass at this moment. Here's a look at our low pressure system and associated stalled front. This is the same cold front that was slowly moving east starting on Monday, and now here we sit on Wednesday, and it really has only moved a few hundred miles, bringing some more rainfall to the mid-Atlantic this morning. Most of the area at this moment is dry, but I'm starting to see some development of some isolated showers around the Outer Banks, so right near and around Manio and Rodanthe, just to the north and east of Stumpy Point. This is going to be the beginnings of what will be another chance for isolated scattered showers and thunderstorms later on today. So again, we do have that risk for flash flooding today. It's a level 1 out of 4 risk, so the lowest risk, but still have your guard, still be on guard, because this was the same risk that we had yesterday, a level 1 out of 4 risk for the entire area, and we had this significant flooding in portions of the south side. So for today, the best opportunity to see some localized or flash flooding will be the peninsulas and western south side. So walking you through the rest of your day, temperatures by lunchtime, so around 11:45 to noon, will climb to the mid to upper 80s. We will see the showers and thunderstorms developing, and they'll move from south to north, so expect some heavy downpours. Now, my concern is if we do get some of these heavy downpours over portions of the south side, including Norfolk, Suffolk, and Smithfield, because we had so much rainfall yesterday, if we do get that heavy rainfall, there will not be anywhere for that rain to go. So I am a little bit concerned about that as we move through the rest of the day. Temperatures will feel more like the mid to upper 90s with that higher humidity and higher heat in place today. But as you see, the coverage of rain much lower than what we had for your Tuesday. Even later on tonight, with those south winds, will remain muggy and warm with temperatures by 9:30 in the upper 70s and low 80s. Tomorrow will be much drier, only about a 20% chance of rain at most. Temperatures in the morning will be in the mid to upper 70s. By the afternoon, we're going to make it to the low 90s, so a few degrees above normal, where our normal high temperature is around 88 degrees. So tackling the fact that we have that higher humidity in place from today through the middle of next week in those dew point temperatures in the 70s, it's going to feel more like the triple digits by tomorrow afternoon. You can see Tuesday through, 2 p.m. through 5 p.m. It'll feel more like 100 to 101 degrees. So a very, very hot day for us tomorrow, again, with lower rain chances. Those rain chances will stay low and remain low through Friday. Temperatures do pick up just a bit. We'll be back into the low 90s on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. But for the weekend, we transition back into what is a typical summertime pattern. So hot, humid, with a chance for afternoon showers and thunderstorms. As we continue through early next week, that isolated chance for thunderstorms continues, but the heat starts to pick up. Highs will climb back into those mid 90s by Tuesday. But again, with the heavy downpours during the afternoons, we could maybe see some localized flooding each and every day, Saturday through Tuesday, as that humidity will play a factor in those heavy downpours. Remember, you can always get the latest news, weather, and traffic on the go with the 13 News Now app. You can scan the QR code and download the app on your phone for free. You can find it on the Apple Store and on Google Play. And on a day like yesterday, having the app is super helpful so that you can get alerts sent straight to your phone. It can also stream for free on the app when we're doing wall-to-wall weather coverage, which means all around the clock weather coverage to keep you safe in situations like flash flooding here in Hampton Roads. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Weather Desk. Meteorologist Craig Moeller is back to host the Weather Desk starting tomorrow, and he'll give you a look at not only some of the recaps of what happens today with the wet weather, but also a look at the Colorado State University's experts' outlook for the rest of hurricane season. I'm meteorologist Taylor Stephenson. Have a great Wednesday.